Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're all enjoying the holiday season. I have finally finished my tree, my Christmas village, my decorations, and 95% of my shopping. I still have to mail out Christmas cards, wrap all the presents, buy food, bake cookies, and so yeah, I still have a lot to do apparently. Let me know in the comments below if you were done with your shopping or if you were going to be participating in the last minute Christmas rush to pick up presents. Today I have my November 2018 candle and wax empties to share with you. My apologies that this is so late. This is November empties and I'm filming this on December 15th. Mainly because I had my grandmother for the first 2 weeks of December, and I also chose to film my candle day video that first weekend in December and get that posted. That's why this is so late. I just don't have the time to really film when she's here. It's not something that she understands, and of course what's more important to me is to spend time with her and to make memories, and we did a lot of really fun things this month while she was here. So apologies for it being late, but I figured better late than never. Thank you as always for all of your patience and understanding. I got through quite a bit last month and I'm really excited about it. My overall theme was sort of mixed. It was fall fresh scents, gingerbread, and cranberry. November is always a bit of a transitional month for me, where at the beginning of the month I'm still kind of into fall scents, not necessarily heavy pumpkin, but still into fall scents. And then by the end of November I am definitely ready for holiday winter type scents. It was really nice to have such a varied theme last month. I did enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below what you melted and burned in November. Did you have a particular theme? Are you still full on fall in November, or have you already switched over to like winter and Christmas scents in November? Or are you like me and you kind of have a bit of a varied theme? Maybe you start the month one way and end it another way. Let me know that in the comments below. I always love to hear from you. As with all of my empties videos, I will start with the random bits first, the body care, the wallflowers, move into the wax melts, and then into the candle. If you are only interested in a particular portion of the video, I will leave the timestamp below so you can click on that timestamp and it will take you directly to that portion of the video. As I do have quite a bit here, as per usual with my empties, this will likely be a longer video. I'm going to try to keep it concise while still giving y'all enough detail about each scent, and I'm going to do my best not to ramble, but you know, no promises there as usual. So if you're interested in seeing what I melted, burned, and used last month, let's get started. We finished 3 hand soaps last month. The first one is Autumn Pumpkin in the Gentle Foaming hand soap. I love this packaging. I think it's really sleek, and again, y'all know that I love this sort of watercolor design of the packaging. Autumn Pumpkin, it smells like pumpkin patch, the perfect pumpkin, a lot of creamy nutmeg. This was a very strong scent. It also really lingered on your hands. I really enjoyed this one. Probably one of the best pumpkin hand soaps that they've come out with that I can remember. So if I were to find this at semi-annual sale, I'd probably pick up another one, even though I'm not generally a huge fan of foaming hand soaps. This one was really nice. The next hand soap we finished is Jumping in Leaves in the Gentle Exfoliating form. I really like the Gentle Exfoliating hand soaps. The notes on this one are cranberry, oak, and cypress leaves. This was a really good one as well. Super fresh scent, but a little bit of like tart sweetness from the cranberry in there. I did feel like this also had some juniper in it, so it was sort of like invigorating freshness, sort of think of like sweater weather, and it was really good. This is another one that I would pick up another one if I found it at semi-annual sale. Like this one a lot. And the last hand soap we finished this month is the Linen and Lavender Soothing Oatmeal hand soap. Of course, y'all know I love this scent. This is my sort of go-to kitchen scent. Very fresh and clean scent for the kitchen. As far as the formulation, I didn't really notice anything different about this Soothing Oatmeal hand soap compared to just the normal nourishing hand soap that they have in like the square bottles. So I probably wouldn't necessarily pick up this particular form again, although if it's the only form that I can get this scent, I would still pick it up. I finished a shower gel last month in Lush's The Olive Branch. This is a very relaxing but also refreshing citrusy scent. Really nice. It's not necessarily one that I think of as like a fall or winter scent, but I had just a little bit left, so I said let me go ahead and finish this and be done with it, and so that's what I did. Really enjoyable scent, and I would consider picking it up again once I've used more of what I have. I finished this scrub in the Bathing Gardens A Queen's Decree. This is a coconut oil sugar scrub. This scent was phenomenal. It is like a warm clove and cinnamon scent, and not like spicy cinnamon, but just very warm and soothing. It came out in the spring, but for me this was like a perfect fall scent. This scent was really good. I will definitely be picking up another one of these, hopefully if she brings it back out in the spring. So really recommend this scent. Of course, y'all know that I love her sugar scrubs. Great scrubby consistency, fair price, and they don't break out my skin. They work for me, so I love them. I also finished this pocket back in Werewolf Tears. This was a citrusy scent and I thought the packaging was really cute, so this was a good one. I finished this box of pumpkin cupcake wallflowers, really nice creamy pumpkin scent. It was nice to have this in wallflower form, especially this year because the candle performed so poorly. I also finished these 3 wallflowers in crushed candy cane, a really authentic creamy sweet peppermint scent like this one. The performance on it was just okay. It wasn't super strong, but I could detect it. I put in a 'Tis the Season about the end of November, and this one was really strong in my bath. I could smell it in that bathroom in the hall, and it went out of the hall and just was really strong and a great performer. And then I put in a Merry Mistletoe, which is a scent I love. This is the one I always kind of put near my Christmas tree. This one was also very strong and has been performing well. Alrighty, that is all of my random bits. I'm going to move on to the wax melts. I am quite happy with the wax melts that I finished last month. Sort of a couple of vendors that stood out that I really melted a lot of. Vintage Chic Scents, The Bathing Garden, Destination Wax were sort of the standout vendors for me last month as far as just the quantity that I melted in each of those. As I mentioned, I did Fall Fresh Scents, Cranberry, and Gingerbread last month. Really overall, I love the month. The first melt I finished was Flower Finery's Welcome to Camp Nightmare, Dusty Breezes and Bonfires, Charred Woods, Dried Leaves, and Hint of Mallow. So this was sort of a leftover Halloween scent. This one I actually received in a giveaway from the wax group that I'm in called the Melt Gala. If you are looking for a really great wax group, that one is one that I would recommend. This one is very similar to Zeep's Hocus Pocus. If it's not the exact same scent, you get that charred pine balanced with the other notes, a little bit of the marshmallow. Very, very good. Enjoyed this one a lot. The strength and throw is about a 7 for half of the scent shot in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and it lasted about 8 hours. I finished this Clam and Barrett Wax Crafts Blueberry Pumpkin Patch. This is a dupe of the Bath & Body Works scent. Berry Spice Bakery scent. Very, very nice. So happy to have this scent in wax form, since apparently they're not bringing it back in candle form, at least right now. The strength and throw was about a 7 for 1 cube in my Scentsy Accord warmer, and about a 7.5, 8 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. Really nice. I love the fact that Barrett's wax is consistently strong, 1 cube, and you'll be able to smell the scent. This scent is a historically sort of light scent in vendor wax. It's just, for whatever reason, it's a lighter scent. So it was really nice to have it here in, pretty strong form. Enjoyed it. The next one I finished is the Bathing Garden's Deadly Sleeping Draught. The notes are French lavender, white tea, and thyme essential oil. And with these notes, it definitely sounds like a scent that I would really enjoy because I really like lavender. But this one was just okay for me. The combination, for whatever reason, reminded me of like going into a public restroom and like the freshener or the bathroom cleaner that they would use in that space to sort of freshen it up. So it sort of just reminded me of like a cleaner. It wasn't really my cup of tea personally. The strength and throw was a 7.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this 2-pack of Destination Wax Banana Apple Bread. This one is banana bread with apple, walnuts, and cinnamon. Really nice, nicely balanced between the banana and the apple. The strength and throw was about a 6 for 1 cube in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. The next one I finished is Southbound Soaps or Southbound Candle Company's Fall Delight. The notes are frosted graham crackers and ice cream scoop bread topped off with cream cheese frosting. This one was a really nice graham cracker bakery scent. Very, very creamy. A little bit of spice, but it wasn't overpowering. Really nice. Enjoyed this one. The strength and throw is about a 6 for half of the scent shot in my 20-watt hot plate warmer and a half of the scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. So essentially I took the full scent shot, put it in 2 different warmers in my master bedroom, and the total of both of those was a strength and throw of a 6. So I would have liked this to be stronger. The next one I finished is this Vintage Chic Scents, the Spindle Curse. This is cinnamon glazed snickerdoodle, donut, marshmallow, birthday cake, vanilla bean Noel. This one was really nice. Essentially a cinnamon bakery scent. Very, very yummy. The vanilla bakery blended really nicely with that cinnamon donut. Really enjoyed this one. The strength and throw is about a 6.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer and in my Accord warmer. The next one I finished is Vintage Chic Scents Order of the Arrow. This is warm campfire gooey marshmallow. Essentially this is a marshmallow fireside type scent, but more marshmallow than the campfire. A nice blend and nicely balanced. The strength and throw is about a 7 in my 20-watt and 24-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this 4-pack block in Destination Wax's Juniper Walk. I love this one so much. Evergreen, juniper, fresh, sweet, mountain air. Essentially, it is a fall, fresh scent. Sort of a cousin to sweater weather. Perfect for actually fall and winter. I obviously finished this last month, November, and I've been melting it another 4-pack in December. I absolutely love it. It's really become one of my favorite scents. The strength and throw is an 8.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. This one is absolutely a repurchase. The next one I finished is the Bathing Garden's The Tea Witch. This is a milky chai tea with spice and vanilla. Definitely you get that tea note in this one. It reminds me of Destination Wax's chai tea scent. You get the definitive tea note with the chai spices. It's quite cozy. The strength and throw is about a 6.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. The next one I finished is Zeep's Cran Jam. This is cranberry and crisp apple and orange peel. This one is a jammy, sweet cranberry scent, but just a nice amount of tartness, and the orange in it kind of brightens it up. It really smells like a cranberry sauce. Really nice one. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 for a small piece in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. The next one I finished is the Bathing Gardens Claws Manor. This is gingerbread with nutmeg latte and cinnamon candy. The latte really comes through nicely, especially when it's melting, so it does smell like a gingerbread latte from Starbucks. It's very cozy and very yummy. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 for about half of this like snowflake shape in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I did enjoy this one and I did reorder it. I finished the shape in Vintage Chic Scents Magenta. This is a fall combo of spiced apples and peaches. This one was also really nice. Reminded me sort of like of a craft store fall scent. Cozy, almost cider-like type of scent. The peaches were not dominant, thankfully, because I'm not a huge fan of peach in general. Mostly you got this sort of cidery apple scent. I think the peaches just brought a little bit of extra sweetness to it. I really enjoyed this one. The strength and throw is about a 7.5, 8 in my 20-watt and 24-watt hot plate warmers. I finished the sample in Destination Wax's Absinthe. This is anise, fennel, nutmeg, cinnamon, a dark, spicy scent with sort of these dry and woody vibes. Very enjoyable. If you like anise and fennel type scents, definitely recommend this one. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. The next one I finished is Kringle's Autumn Winds. I had really lofty goals to finish a bunch of Kringle wax melts, and this is the only one I finished, but at least I did finish this one. This one is warm and spicy, very woody. It sort of smells like the fall outdoors. You get that kind of cool, crisp breeze, crunchy leaves, a little bit of cinnamon. There's also like an ozone note as well. Very, very cozy and fresh. I could even see melting this one into the winter. Unfortunately, it wasn't super strong. It was about a 4.5, maybe a 5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer and in my cord warmer. I think though that I've had these for quite a while, so the scent itself may have degraded, but the scent itself was really nice. I enjoyed it a lot. The next one I finished is Vintage Chic Scents Shannon's Fall Delight. This is caramel apple cake with buttercream frosting. This is like a fresh, sweet gala apple. Lots of the buttercream frosting, not much of the cake, especially when it was melting. This was just an okay scent for me. I didn't like it as much melting as I did on cold sniff, so it probably wouldn't be a repurchase. The strength and throw is about a 6.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. The next one I finished, this is Destination Wax Scent Shot in Cinnamon Raisin Bread. This is warm raisin bread swirled with cinnamon right out of the oven. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this one. As soon as I smelled it on cold sniff, I knew it would probably be one that I really loved, and as soon as I melted it, I felt even more in love. It reminds me exactly of the Pepperidge Farm cinnamon raisin bread, and if you toast that and put butter on it, just right when you pop it out of the oven where you can smell like that warm cinnamon, the raisin, the toasted bread, and that butter, it is delicious. Like I really felt like I could lick the air. It smelled so edible and yummy and amazing. The strength and throw was about an 8 for a third of the scent shot in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and I have already reordered this one. I finished the Bathing Gardens Cranberry Fig. This is a scent that I also love. It is tart cranberry and sweet fig. It is very, very strong, tart, sweet, and comforting. The strength and throw is at an 8.5, 9 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and I've definitely purchased this in the clamshell. I finished the Yankee Candle Easy Melt Cup in Moonbeams on Pumpkin. This is a spicy pumpkin vanilla bakery scent, but not super heavy on the spice. My main issue is that this one was really, really light, like a strength and throw of 1.5, and that's actually being somewhat generous. I really could not smell this one at all, so I would not repurchase this one. I finished this clamshell in Barrett Waxcraft's Lavender and Vanilla Bean. Y'all probably know by now that I love Barrett Waxcraft's Lavender. This one is a really nice blend. I do actually prefer the lavender toasted marshmallow or just the lavender marshmallow to this one, but this one was still nice. You definitely get his specific lavender that I love and that sort of creamy vanilla bean. The strength and throw was about a 7.5 for 1 cube in my bowl warmer. I finished this 2-pack in Destination Wax's Honey Gingerbread Cakes. This one is a nice scent, lightly spiced gingerbread and sweet honey. I do prefer just her plain gingerbread scent. I like that really spicy vibe of that one, but this one's nice too. The strength and throw was about a 6 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this Snowflake in the Bathing Gardens Fireside Christmas. A lot of these sort of bigger ones I got from her like Christmas sampler that she had offered. This one I really loved as well. This one is bayberry, cranberry, candy cane, pine trees, and fireside smoke. This one is perfectly balanced. You get the fruit, the spice, the smoke, the sweetness, and the pine. All of it comes together and really just makes you think of a really cold Christmas day sitting in front of the fireplace with all of the like the bayberry and spices wafting in the air. It was lovely. Really, really enjoyed this one. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 in my 20 watt hot plate warmer and about a 7 in my Scentsy Accord warmer. I did also purchase this in a clamshell as well. I finished this Easy Melt Cup in Yankee's November Rain. This is a crisp, fresh, clean scent. For me, this is probably good for any time of the year, but I do associate this scent with fall, so I tend to melt it in the fall. This one is super, super strong. The strength and throw of a 9.5 for the first rotation in my centerpiece and about an 8.5 for the second rotation in my centerpiece. So this one was really strong, definitely filled up my entire big living room area. So always impressed with this one, and I will continue to repurchase this every year. I finished the Scent Shot and Destination Waxes Autumn. This is red apples, balsam fig, and eucalyptus, similar to Bath & Body Works Autumn. This one is to me a spot on dupe of the Bath & Body Works scent. This one is a tad sweeter. If you burned Bath & Body Works Apple Garland this year, if you sort of take Apple Garland and Autumn and mix them together, then that's sort of what this smells like. It is a bit sweeter, which I actually preferred. The strength and throw is about an 8.5 for a third of the Scent Shot in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. This one's a really good one. I finished this Souffle Cup in Sassy Girl Aroma's Pomegranate Cider. This is a scent that a lot of vendors have. A very tart pomegranate and like sweet spicy cider. A really nice scent. The strength and throw is at an 8.5 for like a fourth of this Souffle Cup in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. I will repurchase this scent again from some vendor because I do like it. I finished this Clam and Super Tarts P&W. This is Raindrops, Sweater Weather, Birch, Beechwood, and Washington Apples. This one was a very interesting and unique scent. It was sort of in the same family as Autumn from Bath & Body Works. It's definitely like an apple fresh scent. I feel like the apples was definitely the dominant note, but you did get that like freshness from the Sweater Weather, and the raindrops sort of added this sort of clean, crisp kind of vibe as well. So if you like your fall fresh scents, or I really could see maybe melting this any time of year if you don't mind apple any time of year, this one was really nice. The strength was about a 7.5 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer and about an 8.5 for 1 cube in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. I would probably repurchase this one again. I finished this pumpkin in the Bathing Gardens Illusions of the Labyrinth. This is mandarin, musk, sugar, and woody notes, and violet. This is a Lush dupe. This one is like a fresh citrus scent. For me, I definitely smell that violet, and I'm not a huge fan of that. So this is just not a scent that I'm in love with. Also, it's not really applicable for me this time of year, so I didn't enjoy it that much. But if you like that Lush scent, I think you would really like it. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. I finished this pumpkin in the Bathing Gardens Fairy Bonfire. This is leaves, vanilla, sandalwood, brown sugar, and bonfire. This one is nice. It does have a lot of bonfire, but it is balanced with the other notes. It's very dark and cozy. Really perfect for like a cold night, Halloween, and like the cold nights of November. This one sort of pushed me a little bit because it was like almost at times a little bit too much bonfire, but then I would get whiffs of it and I'm like, okay, I really like that. So for me, this isn't one that I would feel the need to like have maybe even a full clam of, but I do like to melt it occasionally. It's also quite strong. The strength and throw is about an 8 in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. I finished this pumpkin shape in the Bathing Gardens Cranberry Cornbread. This is buttery cornbread with sweet and tart cranberry. This one actually surprised me. A lot more cranberry than cornbread in this one. You do get sweetness and tartness from the cranberry, and the cornbread is blended in really nicely. I'm not usually a huge fan of cranberry scents. The cranberry tends to dominate. That particular bakery note is not my favorite, but something about this blend really worked for me, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. I finished the sample and destination waxes Autumn Walk. This is crisp autumn leaves, fresh air, forest berries, pine, cedar, and aspen. I really love this one as well. It is crisp, fresh, and woodsy. Perfect for this time of year. I'm I'm definitely going to be reordering this one. The strength and throw was about an 8.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this 4-pack coin in Vintage Chic Scents Picture Window Tree. This one is another one that I just loved. I just reordered like 3 4-packs in one of her recent restocks. This one is clean and fresh, but it's also very cozy. It does have this sort of laundry vibe to it, but it is subtle. It's like clean and cozy, which normally for me clean scents are not like cozy to me, but this one somehow is, and I have just fallen in love with it. It's amazing. The strength and throw was about a 7.5, 8 for a third of the coin in my 24-watt hot plate warmer and a half of a coin in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. This one also lasts an incredibly long time, like 18 hours plus, and I was still getting scent from it. So really recommend this one, especially if you like your clean, fresh, but yet cozy scents. I finished the Snowflake in the Bathing Gardens Gingered Orange Pepperberry. This one is peppercorn with gingered orange, clove, and nutmeg, cinnamon, and a hint of apple. Another one that I really loved. This one was like just Christmas in a melt. To me, I got more of like a ginger and nutmeg more than like cinnamon and clove. A nice hint of that orange citrus, and the peppercorn just makes it like warm and cozy. It really smelled so good. It kind of evoked the same memories and thoughts that I have when I burned Tis the Season from Bath & Body Works. Not the same scent, but it made me feel cozy and Christmassy like that scent does. Really like this one a lot. The strength and throw was about a 7.5, 8 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and I have repurchased this in a clamshell. I finished this little bread shapes in the Bathing Gardens Feast of Fall. The notes are pumpkin bread blends with ginger spiced apples and cream cheese frosting. This one is also fantastic. So yummy. The cream cheese frosting makes itself known. Sort of think of her carrot cake scent and that cream cheese frosty note that she uses in that. And then it seems to be mixed with that apple fritter oil. Rose Girls has like apple fritter as a mini melter. So if you took the apple fritter scent, but then you mix it with cream cheese frosting, that's what this one smells like. Apple bakery amazingness. I loved it so much. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 for half of the bread shape in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. And I did also reorder this one because I've just loved it so much and want to make sure I have it for next year. I finished Zeep's Hansel and Gretel's House. This is gingerbread, graham crackers, and vanilla frosting. This one is a really nice bakery gingerbread scent. Not much spice at all in this one. A lot of that molasses and brown sugar sweetness in the bakery. Really yummy. So if you're looking for a sweet bakery gingerbread that's not much spice, this one would be for you. The strength and throw was about a 7 for a small chunk in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this shape in Chef Wendell's Cinnamon Squares. This is cinnamon swirled cereal with ice cold milk. Whew, say that 5 times fast. This smells exactly like Cinnamon Toast Crunch in milk. Very yummy. That milk note does come through. It's very creamy. It just smells like if you've had a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and like the cinnamon sugared milk at the end, that's what it smells like to me. This one was actually a bit light though, unfortunately. The strength and throw was about a 4. So I definitely wish this would have been a lot stronger. It didn't really cure for very long before I melted it, so I might just need a longer cure time. And I did melt this one in my 24-hour hot plate warmer. I finished Destination Wax Pumpkin Gingerbread. These were like little pumpkin shapes that she had done last year, which were really cute. This one is pumpkin spice and gingerbread. So it is quite a bit of spice, really nice, but it's also blended with that like bakery note really nicely. Sort of this perfectly balanced, more toward fall gingerbread scent, which I really enjoyed. The strength and throw is about a 6.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I do feel like when I melted it last year, it was a little bit stronger. I finished this 4-pack block in Destination Wax's Gingerbread. This is a traditional cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, molasses, and a hint of brown sugar. I absolutely love this one. It is a spice gingerbread, not bakery. You get the ginger and the molasses, the nutmeg. It does have some sweetness to it, but the sweetness comes more from that brown sugar and molasses versus like a bakery note. So it is sweet and spicy, but not bakery. It is perfect. If you have been looking for a spicy gingerbread scent that's not bakery, but that's not like heavy on the cinnamon, it is just like perfect authentic gingerbread, this is the one that you should get. I love it so much. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 for half of the square in my 24-watt hot plate warmer, and this one also lasts a really long time. Definitely repurchasing this one. I finished this shape in Vintage Chic Scents Cooking Baking at Mom's. This is vanilla frosted gingerbread men, cinnamon buns, and sugar cookies. This one smelled like frosted cinnamon buns and not really like gingerbread, but it was definitely bakery goodness, quite authentic. frosted cinnamon buns. Like you get the icing and you get that kind of sticky, ooey gooey cinnamon bun. Really liked it, but if you were looking for a gingerbread scent, then this wouldn't be one that I would recommend. But cinnamon bun scent, this one would be for you. The strength and throw is about a 6.5 for a small chunk in my 24-watt hot plate warmer and my 20-watt hot plate warmer. So this one wasn't super strong, but I still enjoyed it. I finished this shape in Vintage Chic Scents Edelweiss. This is gooey gingerbread cake and cream cheese frosting. This one is a lot of cream cheese frosting. It is like a very gooey, yummy, kind of sticky ginger cake. Very, very minimal spice. I mean, there's like hints of spice, but it's very, very minimal. It is very, very yummy though. So if you don't like a spicy gingerbread and you're looking for like this very ooey gooey kind of ginger cake, then I would go with this one. The strength and throw is about a 6.5 in my 20-watt and 24-watt hot plate warmers. Again, not as super strong as I would have liked it to be, but still I would repurchase this one. I finished the shape in the Bathing Gardens Gingered Fall. This is pumpkin bread blends with ginger spiced apples. This one was just okay for me. It was like a pumpkin spice bread and hints of cinnamon apple. And that sounds like something I would really like, but there was just something about it that was just okay, and I just didn't love it. The strength and throw was about a 6 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, so it also wasn't like a super strong scent. I wouldn't personally repurchase it. I finished this clamshell and Super Tarts Hedwig. This is chai tea, creamy cheesecake, and clove. It essentially smells exactly like the notes say. It is a creamy chai cheesecake is the best way to describe it. The chai spices definitely make themselves known, but it is very creamy. And that cheesecake kind of note adds a very distinct edibleness to this one, which I really enjoyed. Really nice one, and I would repurchase this one. The strength and throw was about a 7 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer. I finished this clam and Scentsy's gingerbread donut. This one was just okay for me as well. Seems like I would love this one, gingerbread and donut, but it had this very odd sweet note that I did not like. Almost like a golden syrup, like kind of very oddly sweet. Too sweet actually, that I just didn't prefer. I did pick up some of the spices, but it was mostly like sweet bakery and didn't really get much of like any kind of ginger or nutmeg or cinnamon. So yeah, I just didn't really like this one. I think it was too sweet, oddly sweet, and it wasn't my favorite at all. The strength and throw was about a 7 though in my Scentsy bulb warmer. Not one that I would repurchase. I finished this Destination Wax Cranberry Pumpkin Compote. This is now just called Cranberry Pumpkin. This one is so delicious and yummy. This is a dupe of Bath & Body Works Cranberry Pumpkin scent. Sweet, rich, slightly tart. The pumpkin really adds a nice creaminess to it, but then you get this like bakery pumpkin. It is so yummy and delicious. If you've also burned Homeworx Harvest Leaves, it is similar to that scent as well. Would definitely be repurchasing this one. So yummy. The strength and throw is about a 7 for a third of the scent shot in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. The next one I finished is Destination Wax Scottish Hearth. This one is Hearth Fire with applewood and white birch. I surprisingly really enjoyed this one. The sweetness comes out a lot more when it's warm and balances that hearth fire kind of note. I thought that was going to be too harsh and strong for me, but I really did end up enjoying this. Again, another one that's really great for a cold night. The strength and throw was about an 8 for a third of the scent shot in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, so quite strong. I finished this Vintage Chic Scents Shape in Miracle on 34th Street. This is Cranberry Apple Pear Tort. This one was just okay. It was too fruity sweet for me, especially for this time of year. I probably would have preferred this if it had more of a tart cranberry versus the sweet cranberry that's in this. But if you like your really fruity scents, I think you'd like it. Just for me, I don't feel like it was seasonally appropriate. The strength and throw was about a 6.5 in my 20-watt and 24-watt hot plate warmers. I finished this Vintage Chic Scents Christmas Eve Feast. This is Cranberry Garlands, orange peels, warm cinnamon, and fir. This one I really, really enjoyed. You did get the garlands or that woodsy Christmas tree vibe, and then you got the fruit, and then you got hints of the spice. Really, really nice blend. It really does remind you of Christmas and just that whole Christmas Eve atmosphere. This one was also quite strong. The strength and throw was about an 8 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. Would definitely repurchase this one. I finished this Zeep's Cotton-Headed Nini Muggins. This is cider donuts, cranberry, orange spice, and vanilla cookies. This one was just an okay scent for me. I would definitely have preferred more bakery in this blend. That cranberry and orange were very, very dominant, and the orange spice was just something sort of like astringent that I just didn't really prefer. I would have loved for like there to have been more of the cider donuts or the vanilla cookies and sort of come across more of a like a cranberry bakery scent, whereas it came off more just It's sort of a fruit scent. The strength and throw is about a 6.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished this Zeep's Harvest Festival. This is sweet cranberries and dried orange peel and autumn spices. This one was spice, sweet, and tart cranberries. So you got the tart cranberry, you got the sweet cranberries, and it kind of gave me this cranberry cider kind of vibe with the cranberries and the spices and just the hint of the orange. More toward a cranberry cider versus like a cranberry sauce. Really enjoyed this one a lot. The strength and throw is about an 8 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, so would definitely repurchase this one. I finished this Clam and Better Homes and Gardens Cranberry Cookie Crumble. This is one that I was just sort of glad to be done with. This was not my favorite. There's something about this scent that reminds me of pumpkin pecan waffles, that very cloyingly sweet scent that I just do not prefer. The strength and throw is about an 8 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer, so if you don't mind like that pumpkin pecan waffles and you were looking for that with some cranberry, then you might like this scent. And lastly, I finished this Destination Wax Black Currant and Fig. This is black currant, sweet figs, rich port wine, spicy black peppercorns, and a bright kick of citrus. This one is phenomenal. This one is perfectly sweet and tart, but it's also rich and warm. Just that hint of citrus and it sort of brightens it overall. And it's just so cozy and it's almost sort of yummy, but also pretty and all at the same time. It's just amazing. It's perfection, really. I love it. The strength and throw is about an 8 for a third of the scent shot in my 24 hot plate warmer. I will absolutely be repurchasing more of this. In fact, I wish I have more of it now because I enjoyed it so much, but I'll have to wait until her next restock. And that is it. Those are all of the wax melts that I melted in November. A really, really great month for me overall. So many scents that I just really found myself loving and wanting to repurchase and continue to melt. So that's always a good thing, right? If you're only here for the wax melts, thank you so much for watching. I will rearrange and move right into the candles. I got through quite a few candles last month, 14, and I'm just quite impressed with that. Overall, it was a really good smelling month for me. The first thing I finished is a box of Yankee candle tea lights in Balsam and Clove. I've mentioned this several times. I really enjoy their tea lights. I will continue to purchase them. This was a really nice scent, really perfect to sort of bring me into December with like the warm clove and the Christmas tree. So I really like these. The first candle I finished this month is Bath & Body Works Vampire Blood. This was sort of a candle that I was finishing from Halloween. Really like the packaging. This is last year's version. Vampire Blood is Blood Red Strawberry, Midnight Blooming Jasmine, and Dark Transylvania Plum. This one is a fruity, juicy, dark fruit punch scent. The plum and the dark berries, I really love it. They had this scent out for a long time in the hand soap, in a hand cream, and so when this first came out last year in a candle, in a 3-wick candle, I was very excited. The strength and throw was about a 6.5 on this one. The burn was fine. There was quite a bit of sooting you can see there around the edge, and the sooting really came more towards the end than the beginning of the candle. It really had like these really big mushroom tops. It was sort of a medium fast burning candle, so it wasn't like super fast that I had to like keep a close eye on, but it definitely didn't have like smaller puny wicks. It was sort of that perfect burning candle and didn't have any issues with it at all, so quite happy with that. I will repurchase this scent in the future because I do enjoy it. The next one I finished is Bath & Body Works The Perfect Autumn. This scent is fresh cranberry, spiced pumpkin, crisp apple, and rich clove. So this scent came out this year for the first time. This one is very similar to Frosted Cranberry. You get that sweet cranberry note, but this one has this additional warm spice and creaminess. Especially when they're burning, they are very similar. I would definitely call this essentially a repackage with a twist of Frosted Cranberry. So if you like Frosted Cranberry, but you're looking for one with a little bit more spice and creaminess, then I think you'd really like this one. The strength and throw is about a 7.5. The burn was good. I was really careful on this one not to over trim the wicks. I just really barely trimmed off the tiny little mushroom tops, and then about the third mark of the candle I stopped trimming the wicks altogether. The last fourth of the candle, it was a bit slower to pull out. You can sort of see here like the little bit of residue down there, but otherwise it was fine. I never had to cotton ball it. It never got like true puny wicks, but just be careful about trimming your wicks on this one. I enjoyed it, but it's probably not one that I would feel the need to repurchase. The next candle I finished is this Homeworx Crisp Apple Cider. I really love the vessel here. It is so pretty. This really dark berry red and the little hobnails. The notes are tart Granny Smith apple, juicy gala apple, spiced bourbon, clove, and nutmeg. This one to me is a pretty standard apple cider scent. It's a nice balance of the apples and the spices. As far as the spice bourbon, for me, it really wasn't detectable. I didn't really get any kind of boozy note, thankfully, because I'm not a huge fan of those. To me, this was similar to Bath & Body Works apple cinnamon cider that they brought out this year, but a lot less cinnamon. It's a nice apple cider scent, but I just didn't really think there was anything super special about it. The strength and throw was about a 5, 5.5, and 6, and it did kind of waver throughout the life of the candle based on the burn. Unfortunately, the burn was not great. I did not trim the wicks. That's the first thing that I'll say. The first third of the candle was probably the best. It did have slight struggles. It didn't really want to pull out very quickly, but it didn't actually get puny wicks, and that's when the strength was about a 6. I did have to cotton ball around the 2/3 mark, but overall it was still like just slow to pull out. It didn't have deep wax pull. Toward the last 1/4 of the candle, the scent weakened to about a 5. So it kind of started out at about a 6, and then about the mid-range was about a 5.5, and then toward the end it was about like probably even a 4.5, 5. The issue with these are that the wicks are just so incredibly thin that they just dissolve essentially. So while I absolutely love the vessel of these, I think they're absolutely beautiful. I think the scent was nice, but again, nothing super special. But because of the burn issues, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this particular scent. The next one I finished is Bath & Body Works Peppered Plum. This one came out last year. The notes are sweet plum, fresh saffron spice, and black peppercorn. And I absolutely love this scent. This was one of my top scents for 2017. It's sophisticated yet sweet. You get a slight tartness, and it's got a wonderful amount of juiciness to it. I love it. The strength and throw is about a 7 on this. The issue with this candle is the burn. The first tip for this one is definitely do not, under any circumstances, trim your wicks. They do not need them. The first third of the candle was absolutely fine, and then after that it just became slower and slower to pull out. Although the strength and throw wasn't affected by that, thankfully. I never did have to cotton ball this candle, but it was just very slow to pull out. The wax pulls were quite shallow. I did keep it in a sleeve the whole time, and then not trimming the wicks did help. To me, this scent is unique enough and nice enough that it is worth dealing with the burn issues. If you're a person who doesn't want to have to deal with these kind of burn issues, then I would not recommend this one. I do have a couple of backups of these. I'm glad I do. I would love to see the scent back again, and hopefully they would be able to fix the burn issues, maybe get some stronger wicks in here, and we'd be able to have the scent without the burn issues. That would be wonderful. The next scent I finished is Bath & Body Works Apple Garland. I really love the label on this one. The cute little cardinal is so pretty. This one says made with eucalyptus and cedarwood essential oils with notes of gala apples and mistletoe. The sweet apple notes definitely dominate. The pine slash like mistletoe woods notes come in next with sort of hints of the eucalyptus. What makes this scent different than autumn is, to me, it's not heavy on the eucalyptus. This one also has sort of like applewood notes, so it brings this really nice sweet warmth to it. I really loved it. I feel like autumn is probably a more complex scent than this scent, but I kind of almost prefer this to autumn because I feel like this one is a bit sweeter and lacks the harshness that autumn can sometimes have to my nose. This one was also incredibly strong. The strength and throw was about a 9, 9.5. The burn itself was also great. No issues whatsoever. It was a medium fast burner, so that perfect burn. No puny wicks. Very minimal sooting. Burned itself out. The wax at the end even looks quite clean. Loved it. Would definitely repurchase this one. I have a couple backups, and if you like an apple and pine scent, I think you'd really love this one, and I highly recommend it. The next one I finished, this is Homeworx Cranberry Pumpkin Cake. This is the second one of this scent that I have finished. I love the label on this. It just looks so yummy and inviting. The notes of this one are cranberry, pumpkin, nutmeg, and ginger. I love this scent. For me, it smells like a really nice sweet and tart cranberry sauce with spice cake. Just a nice blend of both of those. Really, really enjoyed it. I talked about this one in, I think, my October empties. The strength and throw is about a 6.5, so adequate. I would love it to be a little bit stronger. This one does have burn issues. The first half of the candle was actually pretty decent. I definitely did not trim the wicks. You can actually see where it started to struggle. Like, it's pretty clean, and then all of a sudden you got all of this residue. So that's exactly where it started to struggle. What I should have said is that the strength, the first half was a 6.5, and then when it started started to struggle past this point, unfortunately the strength and throw drastically decreased to about a 3.5. I almost at some points couldn't really smell it. So it did get puny wicks at this point, even though I didn't trim the wicks. I had to cotton ball it twice after this point just to kind of finish the candle. For me though, even though I had already burned this one before and I knew it had burn issues, I did feel like the scent was worth it to have to deal with the burn issues again. So this one did come in a set of 2, so I do have one more. I am happy to have that, even though I know that that one's going to have burn issues as well. So this is one that I would only recommend, again, if you are willing to put up with these burn issues. If you're willing to sort of babysit and tend to a candle and you're looking for this type of scent, you may still want to pick this one up if it becomes available again. But if you're one that does not want to have to babysit a candle or doesn't want to purchase a candle at this price point that you have to babysit, then I wouldn't recommend it. My goal is to just give you the information of my experiences and let you decide what you want to do with that information. The next candle I finished is Bath & Body Works Sweater Weather in this adorable packaging. I love the packaging for this whole entire collection this year with the cute little animals. I guess I'm just a kid at heart. The notes are fresh sage, juniper berry, aromatic, eucalyptus, and fresh woods. Of course, Sweater Weather is a classic scent. Fresh, refreshing, juniper and eucalyptus dominate. Just a perfect fall fresh scent. Also is a winter scent in my eyes. Like for me, this is a fall and winter scent. I can burn it in fall and all winter. I love it so much. The strength and throw was 8.5, 9, so very, very strong as you would expect for this scent. The burn itself was great. No issues whatsoever. Some sooting at the end. You can kind of see a little bit of that there. Would definitely continue to repurchase this scent every year, and I think I do have another one in this packaging because I thought it was so cute. So yeah, love this one. The next one I finished is Bath & Body Works Spice Graham Cracker. This scent came out last year. This one is ground cinnamon, cardamom, golden graham cracker. I didn't actually get a chance to burn this one last year fully, so I carried it over to finish this year. This one is a really nice scent. You definitely get lots of ginger and cardamom and nutmeg. No cinnamon and clove. It is very sweet and gourmand. I think the name here is very applicable because to me it does sort of register as a slightly spiced graham cracker versus what I think of as like a traditional gingerbread scent. It definitely plays nicely into a gingerbread theme, but it definitely has more of this sort of honeyed sweetness versus like a dark molasses or brown sugar sweetness, which you would have in a gingerbread. And I really liked it. The strength and throw was about a 7.5, 8. The issue with this one was that the burn. The burn was just okay. Definitely don't trim the wicks on this one, or if you do, trim them very, very carefully. It was actually fine to about the what I call that dreaded last third mark of a Bath & Body Works candle. So when it got to a little less than halfway, I did have to cotton ball it once, and then it was fine after that. But you can actually kind of see the residue here is when the issue started, and it just was very slow to pull out even after I cotton balled it. So it did have issues at the very bottom, but even though it was struggling at the end, I could still smell it. The strength and throw was still fine, and it didn't really change the scent. I am glad that I have another one of these if I wanted to burn it next year. So, and I think if they fix these few burn issues, this will be a nice scent to see back again. The next candle I finished, this is Milkhouse Candle Gingerbread Pumpkin. This one was a nice scent. Lots of ginger and pumpkin spice. A nice amount of the bakery balanced out that spice, and it was just a really good scent. It reminded me of the Homeworx pumpkin gingerbread scent, sort of in that same family where you get this pumpkin spice, but you also get the gingerbread. The strength and throw kind of wavered between about a 5 and a 7 throughout the life of the candle. It definitely varied. You can see all the soot there, of course. It pulled out quickly for the most part. I did actually put this in a Bath & Body Works candle sleeve, but then there were times that it was like really slow to pull out, and I couldn't quite figure out why, because it was kind of at various points of the candle. Like I would burn it one time and it pulled out fine and it was okay, and then the next time I went to burn it, even though I didn't trim the wicks, it was very slow to pull out. So it was just quite odd. It was also very sooty, as you can see. Toward the end of the candle, I did have to start trimming the wicks because it was just putting out puff, puff, puff kind of soot. I mean, you can see how black that was. So I actually didn't finish this candle. Like I could still burn this. You can see actually how much wax is left, but it was just putting off so much soot. I could not justify continuing to burn it, especially because the scent at that point had weakened quite a bit, and even the scent had distorted. It started smelling kind of burnt, which is odd because it's the soy candle, so I wouldn't expect it to kind of have that burnt smell that sometimes paraffin candles can. So for me, this wouldn't be a repurchase just because of the amount of soot. Let me know in the comments below your experience with Milkhouse. Is this pretty standard, the amount of soot with the candles you burn, or does this more of a seem to be a one-off for this particular scent? I would love to hear from you. The next candle I finished is Homeworx Autumn Pinecone. This one was one of the candles in the Harvest Trio. The scent notes are fallen pine cones, red oak, fresh eucalyptus, and juniper berry. This one to me is very similar to Bath & Body Works Apple Garland, which is also very similar to Autumn. So it's almost like if you took Autumn and Apple Garland and you put them together, this is what you have. Because I feel like this one is a bit sweeter than Bath & Body Works Autumn, but it's not quite as sweet as Apple Garland. Definitely all in the same family, very, very similar. You get the pine, the apple, the eucalyptus. There is also a bit of a heavier woods note, not masculine and not overly heavy where it sort of dominates, but there is something sort of at the base of this that's a bit heavier, sort of deeper woods note than either Autumn or Apple Garland. The strength and throw of this did vary through the life of the candle. It did start out to be about a 7.5. The first 2/3 of the candle actually didn't have any issues with the burn, and I thought, okay, this is going to be a good one. But then unfortunately, the last third of the candle started to struggle, and I did not trim the wicks on these either. You can actually see right there where that wax residue is where it started to struggle, and I really don't understand why it started to struggle because I wasn't trimming the wicks, but at that point the wicks just got really, really small. I didn't cotton ball it, but you can see the residue there, and then sort of the very last burn it didn't even want to pull out. And unfortunately that struggling did affect the scent throw, so it did drop down to about a 5 the last third of the candle. But I would say comparatively to some of the other 4 wicks that I've burned and just talked about even in this video, I feel like this one was probably a better burner overall than any of the other 3 candles that I've mentioned. So yeah, nice scent. For me, it's not totally necessary because I don't feel like it's like out there enough from Autumn or Apple Garland or some of the other things that I can get in vendor wax that I feel like it's completely necessary. But if you're looking for that kind of scent, if you're a huge fan of like apple and pine and woods type scents, then this one is a nice one. And like I said, the burn is better than the other 4 wicks, but still not as good as the 3 wick candles from spring. The next candle I attempted to finish is Homeworx Glazed Gingerbread. The notes are iced gingerbread, brown sugar, Grand Marnier, and ginger. This one was quite different than I expected it to be. I love the pumpkin gingerbread that was in this duo, and I expected the name Glazed Gingerbread. It was going to be like an authentic gingerbread cookie with like an icing or a vanilla frosting or something like that. But this one actually smelled of curry to me. The ginger in this is actually more savory than sweet. So it smelled more like an Indian food dish versus a sweet gingerbread. I think the ginger that was chosen in this maybe wasn't the appropriate ginger because it didn't smell like a baking ginger. It didn't even smell like a fresh ginger like the Kringle's Ginger Snow Angel. It definitely smelled like a savory ginger. So it was just odd. It was not what I was expecting, and probably not what most people would be expecting based on the name of this candle. The burn has been absolutely horrible. This is by far the worst Homeworx candle that I have ever burned. From the very first burn, it would not pull out fully at all. I let it burn for like 10 hours and it still would not pull out. I mean, you can see right there, it had the wax that was left at the very beginning. From the very start, I cotton balled it, thinking, okay, I'll just cotton ball it once, it will correct. The second burn, still the same issues. It would not pull out, and then definitely just completely tunneled and total puny wicks. Cotton balled it again, cotton balled it again, still did nothing to help this candle. Again, just totally horrible performance on this one. You can see all the wax there, you can see the tunneling, and you can see how absolutely tiny the wicks are, and that's after I cotton balled it. So I mean, they're so tiny. The other thing is that this scent turned gross smelling very quickly. It turned into that really nasty paraffin burnt smell that happens when you burned off the oil. So possibly by me burning it for so long, trying to get it to pull out, burned off the oils really quickly, and then all I had left was the paraffin in like these layers. I can't finish this candle because it wouldn't pull out and it didn't smell nice. So I thought about trying to return it, but I've already finished the other candle in the set, so I don't really feel like I have an option to return just one candle. I don't really know how that works, and quite frankly, I don't want to deal with it. Unfortunately, I couldn't recommend the gingerbread duo, which is such a shame because the pumpkin gingerbread scent is absolutely amazing and absolutely wonderful, and that scent was great. So I'm really hoping that he brings back the pumpkin gingerbread scent next year by itself in a duo, because I would love to have that scent back but this scent did not like. The burn is horrible. Would 100% not recommend this scent, unfortunately. The next candle I finished is Bath & Body Works Toasted Vanilla Chai. The notes are made with ginger and nutmeg essential oils with notes of cinnamon and clove. This one is a sweet vanilla creamy chai scent. Definitely more of that vanilla sweetness than the actual chai spices. So it did come across sort of like a chai vanilla milk. It's the best way sort of for me to think of that. You got the chai spices, but that vanilla creaminess really came out. I didn't get any kind of like toasted note per se. To me, it was just a lot of vanilla creaminess with the chai spices. I did like it. The strength and throw was about a 5.5, so it wasn't super strong, especially for Bath & Body Works candle. Like, I expect at least a 7 from Bath & Body Works candle. So this one was a medium throw, a little better than medium, which is still good compared to other candle companies, but not great for a Bath & Body Works candle. The burn was just okay as well. It looks pretty clean here, but actually the first half of the burn was fine. No issues. You can maybe see right around there. Right at the halfway mark, it did start to struggle, and I did have to cotton ball it one time in the middle of the candle, and then the second half of the candle was fine. But that second half of the candle, the scent itself really weakened quite a bit, and so it did drop to about a 3.5, 4 for the second half of the candle, so it got even lighter. This one for me is a one and done. I mean, it was okay. I'm glad I finished it. I'm glad I experienced it, but with the burn issues and with the scent just being okay for me personally, it's not one that I would personally repurchase. The next scent I finished is Bath & Body Works 'Tis the Season. This one, of course, y'all know by now, is a classic scent. I absolutely love it. It's Christmas in a jar. The notes read red apple, sweet cinnamon, and cedar wood. I absolutely love this scent. It just evokes all the wonderful memories of Christmas. The strength and throw on this one was about a 7. The burn was fine. It looks like a lot of wax left because apparently when I went to blow out the candle one evening, I left one wick burning stupidly, and so you can see that wick went all the way down and burned itself out completely, and so that's why I have this very odd misshapen candle here. I do feel like this candle might have started to get puny wicks. On my last burn, I do feel like it was starting to struggle just a little bit. Still though, for me, love the scent. Will always repurchase it year after year. And lastly for November, I finished Kringle's Ginger Snow Angel. I absolutely love this label. I think I say this every time I have a Kringle candle, but I love the matte finish to their labels. And this one is just so doggone adorable. I mean, it's a gingerbread man making a snow angel out of powdered sugar. Like, how adorable is that? I love it. The notes are crushed nutmeg, ginger crystals, brown sugar, cinnamon, and snow vanilla. This scent is so unique. It is like a freshly grated ginger. It's definitely not your typical kind of spicy gingerbread scent. This one does also lend itself to be almost savory, but unlike the glazed gingerbread from Homeworx, this one definitely smells like you have a fresh piece of ginger, and it smells just so authentic and wonderful. There is some sweetness in this scent. You also pick up the nutmeg. It is really unique in my opinion, different than any other gingerbread scent I've melted or burned. And I really like it. There is just something about it that really works for me. I really like it. It somehow just works. It's just that perfect amount of sweetness, balance it out that freshly grated ginger. So really like, if you've been looking for a ginger scent that's very different, recommend this one. I'm not sure if this one's even still available, but if it is, it's one that I would repurchase. The strength and throw on this one was great. It's about an 8, so quite strong. I did have to cotton ball this candle 3 times. So I actually had to cotton ball it about the 3rd mark, about the halfway mark, and about the 2/3 mark, and that is pretty typical for these Kringle large jars in my experience. You can see kind of how yellow and discolored the wax is. It was actually a white candle. About the 3rd mark in almost every Kringle large jar, the wax starts to discolor really badly, and then I have to cotton ball it, and then it will be fine. And then again, about the halfway mark, the same thing. So it's just sort of par for the course for me with these candles. Now, this is an older scent. I purchased it about 2 years ago, so they may have improved their formula since then with their candles, but it's just something I think that you should know because their candles are pretty pricey and they don't tend to go on sale. But because this scent is so unique, it's definitely something I would be willing to deal with in another candle. Although personally, I would purchase the medium size jar versus the large jar if I were to purchase this again. Okie dokie, that is it. Those are all the candles that I finished in November. Really happy overall with what I've finished. Really happy with the scents for the most part. You know, some struggles with the candles, but it is par for the course, right? I mean, you're gonna have some good ones, you're gonna have some bad ones every month. Let me know in the comments below what you burned and melted in November. Do you tend to still do all fall scents in November, or are you transitioning into holiday scents? I would love to hear from you. If you watched the entire video this month, give me a smiley face emoji in the comments below. If you like this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you like to see other videos like this, please subscribe. I will be doing a monthly empties video, and December's will be coming up pretty soon because I got this one up so late. I also do hauls, candles, and wax, and I will be doing in January like my top candles and wax smells of 2018. So those videos will be coming up because y'all seem to enjoy those a lot last year. Thank you as always for all of your support. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.